Former Miss Pune contestant Twisha Sharma's death case has taken a dramatic turn after an alleged audio tape involving her mother-in-law and retired judge Giribala Singh surfaced online. The audio, which has not been independently verified, captures a conversation with Twisha's brother, Major Harshit Sharma, where questions have been raised about Twisha's past relationships and personal life. In the audio, Giribala Singh is heard questioning Twisha's brother about whether Twisha had been with other men before marriage. The tape also contains controversial statements, including claims that promiscuity can be a habit and remarks comparing relationships with transactional behaviour, triggering outrage and fresh allegations of emotional harassment against the family. According to the claims made by Twisha's family, she was subjected to emotional harassment and repeated attacks on her character inside her matrimonial home. Twisha's brother, Major Harshit, is also heard confronting the mother-in-law over humiliating comments that have been directed at her sister. Giribala Singh defended her line of questioning, saying she had the right to ask such questions after marriage. The tape has now become a crucial part of the investigation as Twisha's family continues to demand strict action and a deeper probe into allegations of mental cruelty, dowry harassment and domestic abuse. Twisha Sharma, in fact, was found dead at a matrimonial home in Bhopal on May 12th, and the case has since snowballed into a major legal and public controversy between the two families.
If you have slept with other people, was there any point?
Who was this?
Amar's distribution.
I didn't say slept with anybody. I said any kind of intimacy.
Yes. Did you do it for a favor? Did you do it to get some monetary benefit or some favor?
When was this done? Sundo. What is the context? He was saying that he keeps accusing me. She says it's a very foul word and it's not the way it's used. It's not to be said, he said that he's never said that. I don't know, he said and we said we don't know. But otherwise also I said, look, I have worked with Reshampura, Gwalior, I have worked with prostitutes. Some people do it out of compulsion. उनके पास जीवन का और कोई जरिया नहीं. Some people sell their brains so they earn. They are also selling our brains and so we earn. Some people sell their bodies so they earn. There's no problem. But some people do it to earn, to climb the social ladder. Is there any such thing? So she said, never, it's never happened. So, and I said, any other thing that even after the marriage, whatever has happened has happened. Right. But will you waver on these aspects? She said, no, it's nothing. I said, it's fine, then you sound like an open slate.
So it was a speculation from her end.
Mm-hmm.
Why was this question? There was a speculation, suspicion, whatever that was there that you wanted to clear.
जी बच्चों ने मेरे को सुनाने के लिए दिया था वो ऑडियो कि पापा को मैं प्रेजेंट नहीं था तो पापा को बताने के लिए हो जाएगा कि ये बताने के लिए कि ये कैसा बिहेव कर रही हैं तो टू ब्रिंग इन माई नॉलेज वी वर नॉट नोइंग कि ये इंसिडेंस हो जाएगा और ये इत्तेफाक से याद आ गया तो हमने बच्चे ने इनको इसलिए सर्कुलेट किया क्योंकि वो इल्ज़ाम लगा रही थी बहुत सारा तो ये उसमें साफ साफ दिख रहा है कि वो किस तरीके की माइंडसेट की महिला थी और कितना प्रताड़ित कर रही थी लड़की को.
I'm being joined at this point by IPS Gurinder Singh Dhillon, former ADGP Law and Order Punjab. I'm also being joined by Rekha Agarwal, who's an advocate with the Supreme Court and social activist, as well as Preeti Banerjee, who's an author and social activist. Thank you very much, all three of you, for joining me. Mr. Gurinder Singh Dhillon, I just have to start asking you with a very straight question. Look at the language that's being used here. This is, and the irony of it all. Here we've had the father saying he's had to leak this audio because there were allegations, character assassinations being made on his daughter in public. And the only way he could have gotten himself to prove that there's a backdrop to all these conversations is by leaking this audio. And what does this audio have? We're talking about instances, she's asking the brother and recalling instances where she has questioned Twisha about climbing the social ladder by selling a body. by talking about promiscuous relationships becoming a habit. This is not how families really run. This is not how marriages are strengthened. This is not how a daughter-in-law in a new house is treated.
Reha, yes, good evening. Good evening to fellow panelists and the viewers. See, it is very sad and tragic. The case has now moved beyond an emotional and tragic family dispute. Rather, it has entered a domain of not only criminal investigation, but also public narrative warfare and clear-cut case of criminal defamation. The video statement of the accused Giribal, her conduct and spoken words fairly indicate that she may have serious mental health issues. And I am of the firm opinion, having remained myself an investigator, that she does need a forensic analysis so that later she may not take any defense. It is not possible whatever
No, I don't
she is
understand.
saying.
What do you mean by that? That she needs a forensic analysis. What does this mean?
It means that whatever she is saying, it appears she probably has some mental health issues, and it may not lead to further criminality. And at the same time, if she is saying with his total senses, then it is continuous offenses being committed. Supplementary statements shall be recorded and sections added accordingly as per the violations and arrested. All her defense, everything, what she is doing is clear-cut case of even a criminal defamation. It's not possible that this can keep floating whatever is saying. She's an accused. She may be on bail. I am very happy that government has taken a call to remove her from the status which still she was bearing or holding as the chairperson of the Consumer Court. But I feel this is very, very sad. It is giving a very bad impression, and the state police and the state government need to act, because she has done whatever she has done before the event and after the death. Clearly states she was well prepared. She was intentionally doing it, because can you imagine if there is an unnatural death in the house? She was only call away, only 3 numbers, 112, an emergency call, and she did not do. It means she as a judge knew what she is doing. She well prepared that the scene of crime gets destroyed, because it is the scene of crime which speaks scientifically. People speak, start
Sir,
speaking
you're making
later.
very strong allegations, sir. You're making very strong allegations, and you are sitting. I mean, you're a retired ADGP, Law and Order of Punjab. You fully understand what you're talking, and and that's the reason why I'm listening to you so carefully. These are very strong
Sneha,
words coming from you, sir.
Sneha, why? Because I am not talking in air. I know how these cases are investigated, how a scene of crime is important, and the person who is indulging in this character assassination or statements after statement, she is not an ordinary individual. She herself was a lawyer, a judge, a trial judge, a district judge. Her son is a lawyer. So it means whatever was happening was in clear knowledge and guidance of this lady called Giribala, and now she is no more a judge also. So she knew what is doing. And can you imagine if there is an unnatural death in the house, she will not call 112. She knew what is 112. I know her once she came as mediator to one conflict in Patiala NLU. Today somebody told me. So it means she was so powerful that she had reached beyond her state as well. So this is secondary. But what I'm saying is purely based on scientific thing. Why? For example, this fairly points me towards a direction that a seasoned investigator is not expected to mechanically accept the forensic opinion. If there are gaps, if there is a material evidence, he will have to go for a second post-mortem examination. And if I was the investigator, I would have gone for that.
You know,
I would have
it
gone for a
completely
supplementary
beats me. It
statement.
completely
I would
beats
have
me at this
added
point.
the offences.
No, Gurinder Singh Dhillon, the fact that you are saying this, it completely beats me as somebody who's also reported and followed crime very closely. What's the problem in ordering a second post-mortem? It just completely beats me. Rekha Agarwal, the court has gone ahead and said that there's going to be no second post-mortem. The court has rejected. Why would the court reject that? What's the reason to reject it? When the family wants a second post-mortem, the police has said we have no problem with the second post-mortem. Firstly, I don't understand what is the court angle in this. Why does the court have to get into this to decide whether it's a post-mortem or not? That being one part of it. And the second part of it, and it's unfortunate that the central figure in this entire case seems to become the mother-in-law, because so many aspects around this, 40 phone calls that have gone from her to different entities according to the different reports that are coming, including to the judiciary and the police. How does one get that? I would consider if something like this has happened, the first you would do is inform the police that a crime like this has happened or a death like this has happened. That did not go. That first call did not go from the family. But eventually, according to reports, there are 40 odd calls that have been made.
Sneha, I'm totally with you. You know, when you express your angst and anguish, you know, regarding the manner in which the rather shoddy manner in which this entire case is being handled. And I fully concur with the views given by Mr. Dhillon, you know, about the suspicious manner in which and the behavior of Mrs. Giribala is definitely not above board. There is no reason at all why the second post-mortem request made by the family should have been rejected by the court. And having been rejected, time is of the essence over here, because the more that the delay happens in conducting the post-mortem, there is going to be more decomposition. Yesterday, when I was on your show, we were already discussing about how AIIMS Bhopal has expressed its inability to keep the body any longer, you know, and so in such circumstances, I wonder why the court rejected the request for the second post-mortem, and I'm quite certain that the family of Twisha is going to appeal against that. But as all those things are going to take time, you know, even the appeal against that is going to take time, and I think that the more the justice gets delayed, is going to get denied in this matter. And the behavior of Giribala Sharma, you know, definitely does not inspire confidence in any manner whatsoever. It is beyond human comprehension as to how she could have made those remarks. You know, I heard in some of the social media last night about the kind of you know, horrible words that she has used against a lady who's no more and who at one point of time was her daughter-in-law. It's just been a week.
Right.
So how, I mean, expressing, words about her sexuality and about her promiscuity, and that, you know, that after marriage this is not going to be acceptable, etc., etc.
Right.
Just shows that the mother-in-law is already having a lot of baggage against her. And even so, you know, be that as it may, even if she did not hold her daughter-in-law in very high esteem as far as the character is concerned, let that be, that is her own personal, she's entitled to hold those views. But now that the daughter-in-law is no more, where is the human angle? Where is the anguish? You know, I mean, on the contrary, she should have been the first one to say that, yes, please, why have a second postmortem? Have 10 postmortems, because my conscience is clear. You know, we haven't done anything to harm her in any manner whatsoever. It is the entire guilt, you know, which is making her speak in the way she is to the media, the way she's speaking to so many people about it. There's not even a single tear. Look at her expressions, you know, when she's speaking on various channels. It is beyond human comprehension as to why,
right,
you know, a human being is not reacting in the manner in which one would expect her to react. Even
right,
if she may not have there may be no love lost for the daughter-in-law. But once the daughter-in-law is no more, you don't talk about a dead person like this.
Absolutely. Preeti Banerjee, you know, there are concerns. There are big concerns. There were red flags. There were straight red flags. And this audio also, you know, the way the father has had to go on to explain that why this audio had to be leaked. The father said the children brought this audio to him because they wanted to know, him to know that there were these conversations that were happening. There were red flags like this in the past. You've had messages sent out from Twisha to her family about the conditions that she has been living in. And here was a young lady who was independent of sorts. She had worked in films. She was a model. herself. She had studied well. She had finished her education as well. A well supportive family, and yet you have red flags that have gone completely ignored, overlooked. I don't know whether ignored or overlooked. These seem to be kept aside in a hope that the marriage would be worked out. Clearly, wrong thing to have done.
See, this is the case which we are just now seeing, and this case again, it's a call to the society and a very brutal call to the society to wake up. We irrespective how much we have grown, how much we are into telling people that our daughters are studying, they are working, they are empowered, so called empowered. It is really sad. Even I just can't pronounce the word empowered, because if a female has to go through things like this, where we can express the word empowered, but do call that females, women are empowered these days. So we can see a clear picture of imbalance in two areas of our society. One area which is talking about our society is completely we are very progressive, as we can see the in-laws and the conversation they are putting in after even being such educated, coming from such background. Even at that point of time, the conversation they are putting in, those are extreme lame conversation, I would rather say, to talk about their daughter-in-law. And at the same time, there is a society, and there are families where it is expected from a daughter to keep the marriage the best they can. They need to keep the marriage irrespective of the troubles and challenges, and what kind of challenges we are facing. ऐसा अभी भी लड़की को बोला जाता है कि बेटा एडजस्ट कर लो, and we don't know what is the bandwidth of a person to take any kind of channel challenges, because a girl, maybe in this case also, we can see that she been messaging to her mother, she been messaging to her friends also, that she is not comfortable, she is going through something. But again, this is a case we are seeing, but a lot of case even now happening, where the female doesn't have any voice. Just because they have got married to another family, the whole society, the maternal family, we all expect her to be there. And this is the core reason that crimes like this happen.